New attacks today in Afghanistan aimed at American and coalition troops. Two suicide bombers struck today in and around Kabul. Both appeared to target the Afghan government and military installations. No coalition members were injured. These attacks come amongst two major developments in Afghanistan. The first is direct talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. The second, the leader of Afghanistan's second largest militant group is pledging its support to ISIL and against the Taliban. Well, the possibility of ISIL entering Afghanistan comes as we learn the U.S. is falling desperately short in the fight against Islamic terrorists in Syria, specifically when it comes to training local fighters. Senior political reporter Scott Thuman is tracking this in our Capitol Hill bureau for us tonight. Scott, we're only at 1% of the goal. How in the world did this happen?
Yeah, those are the numbers, Leon, and a lot of people asking that same question. And why is that important? Because this is a key part of the strategy to keep U.S. troops from having to go in and do a lot of the work. That's why the Pentagon and the White House began this program, but as we heard today, it is not going well.
Is the U.S. finally on the right path to defeating ISIL?
Well, of course not. He has no strategy whatsoever.
Senator John McCain talking to us about both the president and his advisors, who he scolded today upon learning the U.S. has only trained 6 Syrian fighters.
60 fighters. I got to tell you, after 4 years, Mr. Secretary, that's not a very impressive number.
Why so low? Defense Secretary Carter points to the vetting process.
We do counterintelligence screening. For example, they aren't going to pose a green on blue threat to their trainers, that they don't have any history of atrocities. These are all things that are required of us.
On Monday, the president boasted coalition forces are winning back territory once lost to ISIL, but acknowledged a tough road ahead.
The global security environment is as uncertain as I've ever seen it.
While there are daily airstrikes, Republican critics say 3/4 of the time pilots return without dropping any ordnance. They insist more spotters on the ground are needed.
The president's going to have to change his mind, it seems to me. He cannot just function based on a campaign promise.
And those worries, they say, directly translate to more fear here in the U.S.
Unless we change strategy, it's just inevitable we'll get hit here at home.
Now, Defense Secretary Carter said while the execution could be better, especially on the ground, the strategy is the right one. We'll just need more time and better relationship building for us to meet those goals. Live on Capitol Hill tonight, Scott Thuman, ABC 7 News.